The most sinister paranormal encounter. The chilling case of the Bell Witch. Join me as I dive into the chilling case of the Bell Witch and see if I can uncover the truth behind this sinister paranormal encounter. Today, you will delve into the chilling case of the Bell Witch, a haunting that has captivated and terrified people for generations. The Bell family, consisting of John and Lucy and their 6 children, lived on a farm in Adams, Tennessee, in the early 19th century. It was a quiet, peaceful life, surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests where the air was fresh and the sounds of nature filled their days. Their farm was a reflection of their hard work and deep-rooted values, providing not only for themselves but also contributing to the close-knit community around them. Nearby, neighbors often visited to share stories, trade goods, and lend a helping hand during harvest times, fostering an atmosphere of camaraderie and support. However, the tranquility of their idyllic existence was soon shattered when strange, unexplained occurrences began to happen on their property. At first, the disturbances were minor, soft scratching noises that drifted through the walls at night, and inexplicable footsteps echoing in empty rooms. The family dismissed these early incidents as mere figments of their imagination, or perhaps the antics of mischievous animals. Yet, as days turned into weeks, the disturbances grew more pronounced and troubling. The once harmonious atmosphere of their home became charged with an unsettling energy. Shadows flickered at the edges of their vision, and just beyond the tree line, whispers seemed to float through the air, chilling the hearts of even the bravest among them. Objects would mysteriously disappear, only to reappear in the most unlikely places, fueling a growing sense of dread and confusion. The family, once confident in their peace, found themselves on edge, exchanging nervous glances and hushed conversations about the strange happenings. As the disturbances escalated, manifestations of an unseen presence began to take form. The family would wake in the middle of the night to hear loud banging, as if someone was throwing heavy objects against the walls. Their livestock reacted with unusual agitation, and the family's beloved pets, once playful companions, now cowered in fear, refusing to enter certain areas of the house. The blissful laughter of their children was replaced by fearful whispers, and the once warm and inviting home felt increasingly like a haunted shell of what it used to be. The Bell family's peaceful life was unraveling, spiraling into a haunting ordeal that would leave a lasting scar on their lives and would later capture the fascination of many who heard their story. The family would often hear strange noises, like knocking sounds, and find objects moved from their usual places. At first, they suspected it might be the work of a mischievous neighbor or a stray animal, but soon the events became too frequent and too intense to ignore. Doors would slam shut on their own, and the sound of chains rattling would echo through the halls. The Bell family was terrified, but they had no idea what was causing it or how to stop it. As the haunting escalated, the Bells found themselves living in a constant state of anxiety. The children, once carefree and full of laughter, now huddled together at night, whispering about the mysterious happenings that surrounded them. John and Lucy, committed to protecting their family, sought advice from friends and neighbors, but no one could provide any answers. Some suggested it was merely a passing spirit, while others hinted at darker possibilities. Desperate for a solution, John decided to reach out to local religious leaders, hoping their prayers and wisdom might help dispel whatever malevolent force had taken residence in their home. The family's once vibrant farm, teeming with life and joy, now felt like a shadow of its former self, as the oppressive atmosphere weighed heavily on their hearts. Days turned into weeks, and the disturbances only grew more pronounced. One cold evening, as the family gathered around the fireplace for warmth, a loud crash came from the kitchen, startling them all. They rushed in to find their cookware strewn across the floor as if thrown by an unseen hand. The children were now too frightened to sleep in their own beds, opting instead to crowd together in the living room under the flickering light of the fire. In a moment of desperation, Lucy decided to host a gathering, inviting neighbors and friends to share their experiences and insights. As they lit candles and shared stories, They felt a sense of solidarity, but the feeling was short-lived. Just as Lucy began to feel a glimmer of hope, a loud thud echoed from the upstairs, shaking the very foundation of their home. It became clear that whatever presence lingered in the Bell house was not just a harmless spirit, it was something far more sinister, and the family had to confront it before it consumed them entirely. As the haunting continued, the family began to experience physical attacks, with John Bell being the main target. He would be slapped, pinched, and even stuck with needles. The attacks were so brutal that he would often be left with visible marks and bruises. The family was convinced that they were being haunted by a malevolent spirit, but they had no idea what it wanted or how to make it stop. The relentless torment escalated to the point where John could no longer tend to his farm, and his once thriving livelihood began to crumble. The children, witnessing their father's suffering, felt a mix of fear and helplessness, often retreating to the woods for solace from the chaos at home. Lucy, determined to protect her family, sought out local spiritual leaders and even skeptics who could offer insights into their plight. One night, during a particularly brutal episode, as John writhed in pain from unseen blows, a strange voice filled the air, echoing ominously through the house. It spoke a name from their past that struck fear into their hearts. The family realized that this was not just an ordinary haunting. It was a personal vendetta, and to find peace, they had to uncover the dark history that bound them to this malevolent force. Desperation led Lucy to dig deeper into the town's history, poring over old records and speaking with the elders who had lived through the town's darker days. She uncovered tales of betrayal and jealousy that intertwined with their family lineage, revealing a long-forgotten feud with a neighbor who had once accused John's ancestors of witchcraft. As she collected fragments of this eerie past, she learned that the spirit haunting them was believed to be the vengeful soul of that very neighbor, wronged and forgotten by time. With each revelation, the family felt both empowered and terrified. They knew they had to confront this dark legacy head-on. One stormy night, armed with candles and an array of protective charms, they gathered in a circle within the confines of their home, determined to communicate with the spirit. As the winds howled outside, Lucy called out the name that had haunted their nights, demanding to know what it wanted and how they could finally put an end to the torment. The air grew heavy with tension, and an unnatural silence enveloped the room, as if the very walls were holding its breath, waiting for an answer. The supernatural occurrences reported by the Bell family are still talked about today, and they're some of the most intense and disturbing paranormal events on record. The family would often hear disembodied voices, and witnesses would report seeing strange lights and shadows moving around the property. The haunting was so intense that it attracted the attention of local residents, who would often gather at the farm to witness the strange events for themselves. As word spread about the Bell family's plight, curious onlookers became a common sight at the farm, some driven by skepticism and others by sheer fascination. Nights would find groups huddled under the stars, their breaths visible in the crisp air, as they waited for the next unexplained phenomenon. Some claimed to have felt cold spots where warm air should have prevailed, while others described chilling whispers echoing through the trees, as if the very land itself was alive with memory and emotion. Local historians and paranormal investigators began to flock to the site, eager to document the unfolding mystery. They set up equipment in hopes of capturing evidence. Digital voice recorders, EMF detectors, and cameras all pointed towards the farmhouse that had become a nexus of supernatural energy. With every passing week, the stories grew more elaborate, transforming the once peaceful farm into an epicenter of ghostly folklore, forever etching the Bell family's struggles into the annals of local legend. One of the most chilling aspects of the haunting was the physical attacks on John Bell. These attacks were so severe that they would often leave him bedridden for days. The entity, which came to be known as the Bell Witch, would often threaten to kill John, and the family was convinced that it was only a matter of time before it made good on its threats. The Bell Witch was not just a mischievous spirit. It was a malevolent entity that seemed to take pleasure in causing pain and fear. As the haunting escalated, John's health deteriorated under the relentless torment of the Bell Witch. Family members reported witnessing furniture being violently thrown across rooms and strange, unexplainable phenomena, like hair pulling and physical blows directed at John. The entity's threats became increasingly specific, chilling the family to their core. Desperate for help, they sought out local spiritualists and clairvoyants, hoping to find a way to rid their home of this malevolent force. Notably, the famous preacher and exorcist, Reverend James W. McGee, visited the farm, only to claim that the Bell Witch was unlike anything he had ever encountered. The stories of John's suffering reached far beyond their rural community, drawing attention from newspapers and paranormal enthusiasts across the nation. As public fascination grew, so did the uncertainty surrounding the true nature of the Bell Witch. Was it a vengeful ghost tied to the land, or something far more sinister, feeding off the family's fear and despair? The involvement of local residents added an extra layer of complexity to the haunting. Many of them would report experiencing strange occurrences after visiting the Bell farm, and some even claimed to have seen the Bell Witch. The entity seemed to be spreading its influence, and the Bell family was at a loss for what to do. They had tried everything to rid themselves of the entity, from prayer to seances, but nothing seemed to work. As word spread about the Bell Witch, curiosity seekers and thrill seekers flocked to the Bell farm, hoping to catch a glimpse of the notorious spirit. Local residents who ventured onto the property began experiencing unsettling incidents. Scratches on their skin, inexplicable noises, and even visions of a shadowy figure lurking in the corners of their eyes. The haunting seemed to extend beyond the Bell family, creating a palpable atmosphere of fear and fascination in the community. Some townsfolk supported the Bells, while others were skeptical, dismissing the events as mere superstition or mass hysteria. This division only intensified the Bell family's isolation, as they struggled with the psychological toll of their plight. In desperation, they turned to folklore and the wisdom of local healers, hoping that ancient remedies might break the entity's grip. Each failed attempt only deepened their despair, as they realized that the Bell Witch might not just be a transient spirit, but a formidable force intertwined with their lives and the history of the land itself. The Bell Witch haunting reached its climax when former U.S. President Andrew Jackson allegedly visited the farm. According to legend, the Bell Witch took a particular dislike to Jackson and threatened to kill him during his visit. This encounter marked a significant turning point in the saga, as it seemed to confirm the entity's malevolent intentions. The arrival of Andrew Jackson brought both excitement and trepidation to the Bell farm. As a man known for his fierce demeanor and military background, many believed he could confront the supernatural force that had tormented the Bells for years. However, the Bell Witch seemed unfazed by Jackson's reputation. Reports state that during his visit, unusual phenomena escalated. A frightening cacophony of voices, violent disturbances, and physical attacks rattled the former president and his men. Legend has it that Jackson, determined not to be intimidated, sought to confront the entity directly. He famously declared that if the witch could prove her power, he would find a way to rid the farm of her presence. But the Bell Witch reportedly responded with threats, promising to take his life if he did not leave. In a dramatic turn of events, Jackson and his entourage were forced to flee the farm in fear, leading to tales of their harrowing escape becoming part of local lore. This encounter solidified the Bell Witch's reputation as not just a nuisance, but a formidable adversary, capable of instilling fear even in the most powerful. The story of Jackson's visit spread rapidly, drawing more attention to the haunting and cementing the Bell Witch's place in American folklore as a symbol of the uncanny and the unknown. For the Bell family, however, the legend only deepened their plight as they faced ongoing terror, now with an even larger audience observing their struggles. In summary, the Bell Witch case is one of the most well-documented and terrifying paranormal encounters on record. The case has captivated people for generations, and its impact on folklore and paranormal studies cannot be overstated. Indeed, the Bell Witch case stands as a cornerstone of American folklore and paranormal history. Its detailed accounts, ranging from eyewitness testimonies to documented disturbances, provide a rich tapestry of events that have intrigued historians, paranormal enthusiasts, and skeptics alike. The haunting began in the early 1800s with reports of strange noises, physical attacks, and even conversations with an unseen entity claiming to be a witch named Kate Batts. What sets this case apart is not only the extraordinary nature of the events, but also the multitude of witnesses, including prominent figures and local townsfolk, who corroborated the experiences of the Bell family. The Bell Witch legend has inspired countless books, movies, and documentaries, shaping public perception of hauntings and the supernatural. Scholars often cite it as an early example of American ghost stories, reflecting societal fears and beliefs of the time. Furthermore, the case has led to various theories about the nature of the supernatural, the psychological impacts of fear, and the cultural significance of folklore in understanding the human experience. Even today, the Bell Witch continues to draw visitors to Adams, Tennessee, where the story originated, highlighting its enduring legacy and the ongoing fascination with the unknown. The eerie blend of history, mystery, and the supernatural within the Bell Witch case ensures that it remains a compelling subject for discussion and exploration in the realms of both folklore and paranormal studies. Thanks for watching The Most Sinister Paranormal Encounter, The Chilling Case of the Bell Witch. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Bell Witch in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my other videos on paranormal phenomena, and I'll catch you all in the next one.